Hey guys, Michael J. Crawford here, and welcome to day 17 of our 40-day fast. Today we're going to be reading from the Gospel of John, chapter 12, verses 1 through 19. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany where Lazarus was, the one who Jesus had raised from the dead. So they gave a dinner for him there. Martha was serving them, and Lazarus was one of those reclining at the table with him. Then Mary took a pound of fragrant oil, pure and expensive nard, anointed Jesus' feet, and wiped his feet with her hair. So the house was filled with the fragrance of the oil. Then one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, who was about to betray him, said, "Why wasn't this fragrant oil sold for 300 denarii and given to the poor?" He didn't say this because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. He was in charge of the money bag and would steal part of what was put in it. Jesus answered, "Leave her alone. She has kept it for the day of my burial. For you will always have the poor with you, but you do not always have me." Then a large crowd of the Jews learned he was there. They came not only because of Jesus, but also to see Lazarus, the one he had raised from the dead. Therefore, the chief priests decided to kill Lazarus also, because he was the reason many of the Jews were deserting them and believing in Jesus. The next day, when the large crowd that had come to the festival heard that Jesus was coming to Jerusalem, they took palm branches and went out to meet him. They kept shouting, "Hosanna! He who comes in the name of the Lord is the blessed one, the King of Israel." Jesus found a young donkey and sat on it, just as it is written, "Fear no more, daughter of Zion. Look, your king is coming, sitting on a donkey's colt." His disciples did not understand these things at first. However, when Jesus was glorified, they remembered that these things had been written about him, and that they had done these things to him. Meanwhile, the crowd, which had been with him when he called Lazarus out of the tomb and raised him from the dead, continued to testify. This is also why the crowd met him, because they heard he has done this sign. Then the Pharisees said to one another, "You see, you've accomplished nothing. Look, the world has gone after him." In today's passage, we witness radically different philosophies of asset management. What do we value and how do we express that value? Do we selfishly hole away money for our own gain, or do we generously share what God has given us and give it back to him? The extravagant anointing of Jesus by Mary with expensive perfume contrasts sharply with Judas's criticism, revealing different views of how we manage what we have in service of God's kingdom. Mary's act of worship, pouring out her costly perfume, reflects the true essence of asset management in God's kingdom: lavish devotion and sacrificial giving. She understood that Jesus' worth far exceeded any earthly treasure. This kind of giving, extravagant and sometimes misunderstood, demonstrates faith that values God above all material wealth. In contrast, Judas embodies the mindset of self-preservation and greed. Though he spoke of caring for the poor, his true motive was personal gain. In God's kingdom, managing assets goes beyond the mere stewardship of money. It is about the posture of our hearts. We are entrusted with resources, not just money, but our time, talents, and influence. Like Mary, we are called to use them for the glory of God, recognizing that any sacrifice we make in his name will never be wasted. Jesus' response to Judas's objection teaches us that honoring God with our possessions should be our highest priority. While keeping others is crucial, it flows from life's first surrender. While helping others is crucial, it flows from a life first surrendered in worship to him. As stewards of God's kingdom, we must regularly assess how we use our possessions. Are we holding them with clenched fists, seeking personal security and gain? Or are we pouring them out freely at Jesus' feet, trusting him to multiply what we offer? True asset management in God's kingdom means recognizing the eternal value of what we give to God when we do. Like Mary, we participate in something far greater than ourselves, the glory of God's unfolding plan. Begin praying with Psalm 49, verse 20. Mankind, with his assets, but without understanding, is like animals that perish.